Our story starts 400 million years ago when plants first colonized the earth. Apparently, there were microscopic organisms that were beneficial and instrumental in this process. They're called mycorrhizal fungi. The mycorrhizal fungi form symbiotic relationships with 90% of all plant species, and they help them to absorb nutrients in the soil. But modern agricultural techniques deplete the mycorrhizal balance in the soil, and they destroy the mycorrhiza. So there's a need to restore the mycorrhizal balance in order to help the plants prosper. But producing mycorrhiza is actually a real challenge. It's simply not easy. Thank you very much. And so to date, it hasn't really been feasible to apply mycorrhiza in mainstream agriculture. Groundwork Bioag has licensed technology that was developed over the last 20 years in the Volcani Center to do just that. And we have, what I have here is a very highly concentrated, clean, and effective mycorrhizal inoculant that we can use for mainstream agriculture, such as corn, soy, wheat, sorghum, etc. Here's how it works. Plants absorb nutrients and water through their root system in the soil. Some of the nutrients, however, are not available to the plant, either because the roots cannot physically reach the nutrients, or because the nutrients are chemically bound and the roots don't know how to break them up and absorb them effectively. What you see over here is root that is under the microscope, and it's mycorrhizal. In other words, it was inoculated with mycorrhizal fungi. And you can see those hair-like filaments. That's the fungi that start in the root and spread throughout the soil, forming a type of web that breaks up nutrients and brings them into the root, where they are stored in these vesicles. These are nutrient stores. Okay? And this is a game changer, because a non-mycorrhizal plant can absorb maybe 15% of the phosphorus fertilizer in the soil, whereas a mycorrhizal plant can absorb 90% of that phosphorus fertilizer. And as you can imagine, that means a lot for the bottom line of the farmers. First and foremost, we're talking about yield improvements. Groundwork has demonstrated double-digit yield improvements in several crops, especially in crops that are what are called obligate mycotrophs. These are crops that cannot grow optimally without mycorrhiza, and they include corn, carrot, potato, sorghum, onions, garlic. There are plenty. In addition, farmers can save a lot on fertilizer. We're talking about roughly half of the amount of phosphorus fertilizer that a farmer would normally put, and still getting the same yield. Under certain circumstances, water can be saved as well. In addition, the mycorrhizal symbiosis is a dominant one. What that means is that mycorrhiza can be used to repel soil-borne pathogens, such as fusarium and pythium and rhizoctonia. Groundwork has demonstrated this by protecting bananas against Panama disease in Southeast Asia. In addition, mycorrhiza can help the plants cope with abiotic stress, such as salinity and acidity. The farmer gets all of this in an environmentally friendly package that's organically certified and typically exempt from import permits, depending on the country. This is an example of a recent trial that we did on corn here in Israel. You can see the mycorrhizal plants are on the bottom. You can see that the root systems are denser, the stems are wider and greener, the ears of corn are longer and heavier. This particular trial gave us a 30% increase in average ear weight. Our product line consists of several formats that are applicable to different types of crops. And what they all have in common is very high efficacy, very high concentration. This allows us to do three things. First of all, we can deliver a very cost-effective product. Second of all, we can deliver the first mycorrhizal seed treatment in the world. And that's ideal for row crops such as corn, wheat, etc. And third of all, we can ward off soil-borne pathogens, as I described before, you need a very comprehensive inoculation of the root for that. Our mission is clear. We want to cover the world's arable land with mycorrhiza. We're going to start with corn, with soy in the United States. This is one area of 180 million acres of two crops that are both great candidates for mycorrhiza. So for us, it's a billion-dollar opportunity, just those two crops in just that one location. We've already started. We have proven our business model already by initial sales in several countries. Our team is here. We're comprised of 2 serial entrepreneurs and 1 expert on mycorrhiza. And we are here for any further questions. We have a table upstairs, and I'd be happy to contact any. Thanks. One more thing. We raised our initial round from ICV, and we are now raising our second round. So thanks a lot.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me. My name is Isaac Bentwich. I'm the founder and the CEO of CropX, an agro-analytics company that allows farmers to grow more with less. A few words about myself and my colleagues. I'm a medical doctor by training. Prior to CropX, I've founded and led 3 life science companies, leading them to be world leaders in their respective fields. One of these, Rosetta Genomics, is publicly traded on NASDAQ. Its subsidiary was traded on the Tel Aviv Stock Exchange and was acquired by Monsanto. I'm joined by a distinguished co-founder and executives, including a Nobel laureate that runs our scientific advisory board, senior executives of Netafim, Israel's billion-dollar drip irrigation company, and other talented executives. I think what brought us all together is the vision of applying excellence of big data and life science to challenges of agriculture. And the challenge that CropX addresses, and the $2.5 trillion challenge, others have alluded to it earlier, arguably the biggest challenge of our time. The world must produce more with less. Within 35 years, a crop must nearly double. Water, which is a key driver for this, is now running out. And to compound the problem, any solution proposed, and I think the panelists alluded to this, any solution proposed to be realistic must be accepted by this gentleman and fellow farmers. And the reality of it is that indeed it's not about fancy technology. 90% of farmers use no methodology at all to optimize irrigation and enhance boost crop. Simply put, if it's not simple, inexpensive, and no risk, they simply won't use it. That's exactly what CropX does. We provide an integrated solution that comprises of a mobile app, of sensors, which the farmer deploys in the ground, and cloud computing to irrigate different parts of the land differently. The same field requires different amounts of water. Land is not even, like we all humans are not equal. And so we provide a solution that's simple, inexpensive, and no risk, and that is applicable to the mass market. Just as a point or a point for thought here, you think of Netafim, drip irrigation. How much of the market, great water savings, how much of the market does that address? After 20 years, 4%. 80% of the market is driven, irrigated by large pivot irrigators like the one that you see here. And so our solution, which the farmers in the US, we've just begun deploying there, tell us is revolutionarily simple, allows them to work the same way that they have before, while saving water and increasing yield. It's as simple as receiving a sensor like that in the mail, plugging it in the ground, guided by a simple iPhone app, and that's it. Over the past 5-6 years, this is not an experimentary technology. In fact, has been used in the field for 5 years, has been able to show up to 25% water savings, which translate in water poor areas to increased yield. And from an investor standpoint, as mentioned earlier, the fact that the billion-dollar acquisition by Monsanto of a company which we believe CropX is in a similar bracket of an ag analytics company, Climate Corp, that provides a service to farmers that allows to boost their crop, I think establishes the value, not just humane, but also profitable. And I think we've just, we're in the process of completing a Series A. We have a table in the lounge, and if you have any more questions or would like to join us on this exciting journey of ours, we welcome that. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Dovi Segev, CEO of Valentis Nanotech. We are developing a platform for advanced coatings and compounds. We are all familiar with the old packaging, like the tuna can on the left. The pouch on the right is a growing trend in packaging industry. Lightweight, flexible packaging with added properties. Consumers want transparent, eco-friendly aesthetic products. Manufacturers want to reduce cost, extend shelf life, while meeting consumer demands. Such innovation will need to be led by improved materials. The Valentis platform technology offers the packaging and other industries the potential for these new improved materials. Our technology combines two materials, each of which has its own unique advantages. Cellulose nanocrystals, CNC, are a part of cellulose, a common natural material that comes from pulp waste. CNC is strong, lightweight, transparent, thin, and eco-friendly. Nanoparticles can add important properties, including gas barrier, spectral control, antibacterial, and texture control. Valentis Nanotech's know-how and IP enables us to combine these two super materials to produce an even better wonder material. The problem and challenge with nanoparticles is that they tend to stick together during processing and lose some of their desirable properties, making them inefficient. The Valentis platform technology solves this problem by using CNC as a carrier for the nanoparticles, dispersing them evenly throughout the CNC. Our process maintains the desirable CNC properties while keeping the nanoparticles efficient. Our platform can be tailored to provide features that meet specific industry needs, existing manufacturing processes. Our business model is based on cooperation with market leaders. We see 3 sources of revenues and already got the first advance payment based on this business model. We are cooperating with a company in the agriculture products market and working with a company in the food manufacturing for packaging materials in the food industry. These relationships continue to expand our know-how and helping us move toward products in different markets, which is an important factor discussing with global players. Valentis technology offers benefits for a wide variety of applications in very large markets. Our initial focus is on food, packaging, and agriculture. Both markets look for transparency and spectral control. In our first year, we demonstrated several of the desirable properties of the technology, such as reduced thickness, oxygen barrier, and UV control. UV deteriorates food. Therefore, consumers' willingness for transparency is in contradiction to manufacturers' need to extend shelf life. The graph shows Valentis results from a variety of tests on different combinations of nanoparticles and CNC. Our goal was to minimize UV penetration, keeping maximum visibility. The graph demonstrates our ability to reach different UV blocking levels while keeping full transparency. Valentis is already recognized by several research companies and is considered to be a leading pioneer in the field of innovative, flexible food packaging. We are seeking $1.5 million to accelerate the development of our current projects, complete semi-industrial production in 2017, which will lead us to initial sales in 2018. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Eli Liraz, CEO of Ecofer. At Ecofer, we deal with fertigation. Fertilizing via irrigation is fertigation. Fertilizing is a quite expensive issue. It's a heavy cost, and we are looking to change a little bit the traditional way of using it. How do farmers buy today fertilizers? Two ways, two forms. One, the liquid one. Someone prepares the material, dissolves the fertilizer, and brings it, transfers it. This process and the cost of this way is very expensive to the farmer. The other way is buy dry material and dissolve it by yourself. If you do it alone, you have another problem, which is getting accuracy. It's difficult to get accuracy because there's no way to measure composed fertilizers. And usually we have a lot of waste in this case. So actually, right now, we have high cost and we have low accuracy in this situation. Ecofer tries to inverse the situation and at the same time move towards precision agriculture. So here comes our solution. We've built a system that does the inverse, meaning getting high accuracy with low cost. What do? We have tanks for dissolving the material, dissolving the fertilizers, the raw material. We can use raw material, which is cheap. We don't have to buy composed fertilizers. We can use raw material and start with lowering the prices. Then we have the measuring unit in the middle. This is the brain. That's where we measure precisely the concentration, and we can build composed fertilizers. The composed fertilizer can be built anytime and managed with a controller, with a control unit. Here we can put any figure we are looking, any formula. We can define the percentage, we can define the ingredients, we can define the quantities, and this is dynamic, so we can change during any time the formula, the concentration, the ingredients, and play with it. This is just two samples, two tanks, but we can add more and more ingredients, more sources for the formulas, and we can have more formulas built for the crops. So this is a unique system. There's no such a little plant in the world right now. And we actually replace the way of preparing composed formulas. So to conclude this part, we have cost saving by using raw material and cheap prices. We get from beta sites we are running now savings of up to 30%, and return on investment depends on the quantity you use for fertilizing, up to 2 years of return on investments. We get higher yields because we do precise fertigation, and we improve the crop's yield. And at the same time, we work for the environment because we avoid over-fertilization. The figure that is running there is about 30% of over-fertilization. So it's, again, money and environment issue. Where are we in the market? The market is huge. We talk about $2.5 billion market of soluble fertilizers, and it's growing, and maybe we'll grow more with our system. And it's growing year by year, almost 6% per year. On the timetable, we are running beta sites, as I mentioned before. Right now, we're in a phase of cost reduction. We freezed the current configuration. So we do cost reduction. The next step would be go to open fields, as the first machine, the first configuration directed to greenhouses. Next would be open fields, which is variation of the current system, maybe simplified, but bigger volumes. And then we talk about the vision, the next generation would be combined fertigation. Not only preparing the fertigation formula, but also go to the irrigation part. So the combination between fertigation preparation and the irrigation itself with irrigation head or irrigation table would be combined. So this is our vision, to make it one system. And the concept would say, get the data from field, EC, pH, and other factors, prepare the exact formula you need right now, and go to the irrigation phase. All together done in a closed loop. The strategy right now would be going into the market first, direct sales, and once we start these sales, we will look for partners. In order to promote this product, we would partner with bigger companies, equipment irrigation companies, and chemical companies, fertilizer manufacturers, and so. And we will look for investments. $3 million investment is our target for those who want to share our vision and our mission. We have a great team working together, talented and committed. And I want to thank you for listening. Bye.